Okay, let's talk about the global poultry supply. It's one of the world's most important food sources, but hiding inside it is this microscopic threat that works with, well, devastating efficiency. You can't see it, but its impact, you're about to find out just how big it is.
Take a look at this number, over $780 million. And get this, that's the estimated annual cost from just one of the pathogens we're about to discuss. This isn't just a headache for farmers, it's a massive drain on our entire global food economy.
So you have to ask, right? What could possibly be causing this much trouble? What tiny organism can pack such a massive punch? Well, let's find out. All right, our investigation kicks off by identifying the actual culprits. Now, these aren't brand new threats, but the way they've evolved and stuck around makes them a modern-day plague for the poultry industry. And here they are. Meet our villains. Mycoplasma gallisepticum. We'll just call it MG to keep things simple. And Mycoplasma Synoviae, or MS. These two little bacteria are the main reason for all those financial and production losses we're seeing across the globe.
To really get a handle on how they cause so much damage, we've got to look at their biology. It's pretty unique. In fact, what makes them different is exactly what makes them so dangerous.
So at a glance, MG is your classic respiratory bad guy. It causes chronic disease, messes with breathing, pretty standard stuff. But then you look at MS. It used to be known for attacking joints, making birds lame, but it's evolved. Now it's shifted its focus to the respiratory system and, this is crucial, the reproductive tract of hens. This evolution is a really big part of the story.
And this right here is the absolute key. Both MG and MS belong to a class of bacteria called mollicutes. Their defining feature is what they don't have, a cell wall. Now, you might think that's a weakness, right? Nope, it's their greatest strength. It makes them super flexible, lets them squeeze right into host cells, and, it makes a lot of common antibiotics completely useless against them.
Okay, so they don't have a wall. But what's really fascinating is how these invaders play hide-and-seek with the host's immune system. They have this amazing genetic toolkit that makes them true masters of disguise. This quote really gets to the heart of it. They have a family of genes called VLHA. You can think of these genes like a giant wardrobe department. They create proteins on the bacteria's surface, and the key phrase here is high-frequency phase variable. All that means is they can change their outfit constantly, making it almost impossible for the immune system to get a lock on them. And MG's method for doing this is just brilliant. It's basically like a light switch. The gene's promoter region has these repeating blocks of code, GAA, GAA, GAA. As the bacteria multiplies, little mistakes happen, and the number of these repeats changes. But here's the trick. The gene only switches on when there are exactly 12 repeats. This random on-off switching across a huge population means the immune system is always chasing a moving target.
So you can see how both of these pathogens have their own strategy. While MG uses that on-off switch with the GAA repeats, MS uses a totally different tactic. It's called homologous recombination. Think of it like having one master template and a whole library of spare parts from other broken genes. It just keeps mixing and matching these parts to create brand new surface proteins. So one is flipping a switch, and the other is building entirely new disguises.
So all this microscopic trickery has some very real and very expensive consequences. Let's look at the actual damage these invaders leave behind. For MG, the symptoms are pretty much what you'd expect from something that attacks the respiratory system. Coughing, sneezing, nasal discharge. It gets particularly nasty in turkeys, causing their sinuses to swell up. The whole flock just gets weaker and weaker.
But remember, we said MS had evolved. It's not just about causing a limp or a cough anymore. Its modern attack is way more insidious and a lot more damaging to the bottom line.
It causes this, eggshell apex abnormalities, or EAA. The MS infection now goes right for the oviduct, where the eggshell is made, and the damage is super specific. It breaks down the structural layers right at the top of the egg, causing a massive 47% reduction in that critical palisade layer. The result? Thin, fragile, cracked eggs that are completely worthless.
But the damage doesn't stop with just cracked eggs. These bacteria, they're rarely solo artists. They're usually the opening act for a whole cascade of other infections. It's like a global domino effect.
What's so wild is how Mycoplasma acts like an accomplice. By damaging the bird's natural defenses, it basically holds the door open for other pathogens to walk right in.
For instance, if a bird gets MSA and infectious bronchitis virus at the same time, that eggshell problem gets way worse. And when E. coli gets in after them, it can cause a massive systemic infection, leading to lesions on the heart and liver. It's just devastating.
And this is not a small, localized issue. Just look at these numbers. In the Netherlands, an incredible 73% of commercial layer flocks show they've been exposed to MS. In Brazil, it's over half. Pakistan, nearly 48% for MG. This is a pandemic in the poultry world. And here's the crucial part. The total cost isn't just from lost product. As this chart shows, the fight itself is unbelievably expensive. It's a constant vicious cycle of vaccination programs, antibiotic treatments that are honestly losing their effectiveness, super intensive biosecurity, and round-the-clock surveillance.
And that all brings us to our final question. These bacteria have some of the smallest genomes in the known world. They're incredibly simple organisms, yet their impact is enormous, all because they are absolute masters of change. So how do you defeat an enemy that is constantly reinventing itself? That is the billion-dollar question that food producers all around the globe are desperately trying to answer.